story time about how someone I worked with at a club ruined her life. I know some of you will probably point out that I wear these jeans all the time. I do wear them all the time. I do wash them. I look like a hard-boiled egg and I don't know what to do about that. I think I want to put a ponytail in. That might rectify it. When I was at uni, I worked at a little club. Well, I worked at a few different clubs actually, but there was one particular club and I worked on the door. And what I used to do was like check people off of a list for VIP, make sure you got the right drinks and everything like that. Oh, sorry about the belly rolls. So when I was applying for jobs, I was saying how hard it was to find work because there'd be like this massive influx of students. To my surprise, the first place that I applied to, I got. So I'm feeling all proud of myself. I've gone and landed a really easy little job and all my housemates are really struggling to find work. And there's me saying to them, oh yeah, it's probably because I've got so much experience because I'd done a few years working already. It wasn't until people started coming in and being like, oh, everyone who works here looks the same. And I had noticed it, but I thought it was a bit of a coincidence, but apparently not. Apparently the owner of the club only liked to employ a certain type of girl, looked a certain way. So they all had dark hair and blue eyes. My little naive head, I was like, oh, he's doing it for the aesthetic. Wants it to be cohesive in here. Now I'd be like, yeah, Epstein, is that you? But in my head back then, I made it make sense. There's a girl that starts working there, we'll call her Lily, and I've been there for maybe like a month at this point when Lily starts working. I've been doing fine by myself. I'm ticking names off a list. But they decide that I need a little pal. So they put me and Lily, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, because we could have been sisters and everyone was like, are you twins? Never met this girl before in my life. They put us together. When I say to you, this was a one-person job. I like to do things myself. I don't like help. I'm not a team player. Sorry guys, spoiler alert, not a team player. I like to get on with things on my own. I find it's much quicker. I've never been a team sport gal. So I'm like, oh, do they not think that I'm doing well? Because I can't imagine why you'd need Lily. I mean, love her. Lovely girl. Great girl. Nothing against Lily. Someone's going to hold the clipboard. The other one's going to tick them off. It's just unnecessary. Business-wise, wages-wise, it just didn't make sense. What do I know? I'm 19 years old. Eventually, after a few weeks of doing this whole Tweedledee, Tweedledum thing, somebody realises, one of the bouncers like, do you know what, it's just too many people out here, it's like overkill. And he goes and has a word with the manager and the owner, because the owner was very hands-on, he was always there. He comes out and he's like, right, who's coming in with me? I've got loads of jobs inside need doing. Well, my friend works inside and I know they've got too many girls on the bar. Someone's already been sent home. So I'm thinking, what job could he have? Anyway, I'm not bothered. I'm quite happy to stay outside. I was a little bit annoyed because it was warm inside. Never mind, I'll stay outside. This is lovely, by the way. It's like a lipstick balm. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's Melting Touch Lip Balm, Love Language by Iconic London. And the lip liner is Full of Pout, Sculpting Liner, TTYM. It's also really nice and it's got a little blender on the bottom, which is quite cool. As time passes, I'm still on my door job. Every now and then, like break time or whatever, if it was particularly cold, they'd let us go inside. And I'd go into the office, like everyone would congregate in there if they're on their break. And Lily would be sitting in there and she'd be like counting cash, doing like office type admin-y stuff. And couldn't help but notice how Lily would be with the boss, like the owner of the club. And you couldn't help but notice they were getting on really well. Like, you know, well. Now, the owner of the club is gotta be 40 odd. Gotta be. Yeah, hadn't aged well. Bit of a raisin looking guy. Like, I think he might have looked older than he actually was. Anyway, ladies loved him for whatever reason. I think maybe the fact that he had a Bentley helped. I think it was a Bentley. It was some sort of swanky car. Snazzy. I don't know. The fact that he could get you into the best nightclub in town, like that probably was helpful to a man like him. But whispers are a whispering, as you can imagine. You know, like everyone's a bit bored at work, aren't they? Like, how can we stir a little bit of drama? So people are busy stirring and no one else has actually spoken to her. I was like, psst, girl, people are talking. And she's like, are they? Yeah, people were saying that you two are a little bit too close, if you know what I mean. And she lets me know that they are indeed close. Now, Lily is of age at this time, so I'm not going to say anything about the age difference because myself and my partner have a 9-year difference and my mum and dad have like a 12-year difference. So I know that when it works, it works. And Lily is an adult at this time. But it was more just like the power struggle imbalance for me that just made me feel a bit, not sure. Like the way that he kind of got her alone in the office. I didn't like that. There was something creepy, but maybe you had to be there to experience the atmosphere. Anyway, it was creepy because basically they would start seeing each other. She would be rolling around on campus in this big, nice car because he had a Range Rover too. And turns out he actually had 3 kids, 2 little boys and 1 little girl. And the little girl, I think, was around 8 and the 2 little boys were much younger. So I think one of them was 2. He still had a bottle. This kid had a bottle because Lily sent me a picture of him. How's Lily sending me a picture? Okay, well, I'll tell you. So Lily basically became like an unofficial babysitter. Yeah. Now, I don't know if she was still on the payroll at this point, but she stopped coming to work in the office. He was at the club. She would be at his house looking after the kids and driving this really nice car. Yeah, but with 3 kids in the back. He's 19. Lily, I'm going to say she was like from Scotland. She wasn't, but let's just say she's from Scotland. She's from somewhere very far away from where she was living at uni. And then come the summer months, obviously we would all go home. Lily didn't go home that summer. She stayed with him. So one night, Lily's in bed. She's at his house. He's got this really nice like penthouse flat type thing. Really gorgeous. Like we went there for a party once. It was insane. And she's looking after these 3 kids. He's at the club. And there's a little knock on the door. And she's like, oh my God, who could that possibly be? So she goes to the door and the person's like, it's police, open the door. So she's thinking, oh my God, he's been in an accident, there's been a fight. Because a few weeks before that, and I've already done a story time on this, somebody had actually been bottled and it was one of his friends. And it was all kind of like this big conspiracy. Kind of stands there too stunned to speak. And the next thing she knows, they are coming through the door with one of them big, the ones. And Lily is like, what on earth is going on? They grab everything, they take the kids, they take her in the back of a police car and they interrogate her for hours. So Lily gets taken, she gets put in a cell overnight. She's like absolutely heartbroken over the kids. She's like, where are the kids? She's like, that's her main concern. And it would turn out that the boyfriend, like the owner of the club that I worked at, he was like a kingpin in this drugs situation that was going on. And he was moving drugs through the club. And he was getting Lily to count the money and do some weird magic, naughty stuff. And it'd all come a tumble and he was in big trouble. But he had actually gone on the run. He'd left. He'd been told about it at the club and he'd gone. He'd like gone on a ferry. I think it was up to Guernsey. Or somewhere like that. Jersey, Guernsey, somewhere like that. This man had run away, left his kids. Even went and spoke to Lily's elderly mum and dad. Like woke them up in the middle of the night so that they could go through Lily's mum and dad's house as well, because the information that they had basically put Lily as a main part in all of it. Lily was able to show that she was completely innocent, which thank the Lord that she was and that she didn't get herself involved. We knew he was an unsavoury kind of guy. Things started to go a little bit strange. Like there were signs, but we were quite young. But the kicker to all of this story, like the biggest thing that just boggles my entire mind, is that he actually had a wife. Yes, he was still married, still 100% in a relationship, but during the week they would live in the city, and then come the weekends, because of like his club, they would come out and stay at their second home, which was this lovely penthouse apartment. But obviously none of us knew that, because during the week we were all busy like at uni. This man had no social media, obviously, because he was, a fugitive. Con man, and call him Kingpin, Breaking Bad, Heisenberg. So the guy's wife has no idea about Lily. She has 0 clue. She thinks that Lily is an employee at the club that has been employed like on an informal basis to look after the kids. And the kids think that Lily doesn't stay around with daddy. They think that Lily's just there as like a babysitter. The wife finds out about Lily in the newspaper. So basically this guy had employed all girls that looked the same way, and pretty much whoever was going to work in the office, I guess he was always going to be that kind of like pervert guy. But yeah, if you are a young girl and alarm bells are a ring-a-dinging, Listen to your gut. Because Lily actually had to drop out of uni. She started uni, but where she lived, far away. It's very traumatising. So if things don't seem legit, they never are, basically. Especially in like nightclub jobs. I mean, I'm sure some of you that own nightclubs do so in a above board manner, but there was a lot of things that I saw when I worked in the door that will scare the life out of me having children when they are of drinking age. Stay safe and keep your eyes open.